Welcome back to Beards and Brews, all that stuff. This week's movie is Go from 1999.
This movie kind of started like a Vietnam movie. You know, it's got like the little quick clips of God only knows what's going on, and this music that's coming in that kind of sounds like Patsy Cline's boots were made for walking, and then all of a sudden it's like dun 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 rave, and chicks
That
are wet.
that was Nancy Sinatra, not Patsy Cline, by the way.
It's unimportant. None of this matters.
It's probably important to Nancy Sinatra. Is she dead? She's probably dead. So it's not important to her. Never mind.
Does she even listen to this cast? Most likely.
Does she
this
paper or plastic?
hashtag relatable.
Yeah, pretty much the movie starts out, just to get everybody on the same page, this movie has three very different stories. Not different stories exactly. Three different stories told through three different main characters that all sort of coalesce, and we watch each segment in its own part.
It's almost like whoever wrote this movie had three okay ideas for three different movies, and then he was just like, hey, I'm just going to smash these all together like parts to a Black Sabbath song.
All right, well, we're getting into the Fairies Wear Boots segment. Anyway. Damn, I was hoping for a laugh or something. Fuck.
So the first segment, we follow a lady named Rana who works at like a supermarket or whatever, and I guess she's been in like the super long shifts, like 14, 15 hours.
Yeah, 14-hour shift, and there's, they're like, oh man, this fucking redheaded British douche. They're like, leave her alone, she's coming off a 14-hour shift, and there's a little exchange between them and whatnot, but they walk outside, then she walks back in, and she's back on shift. I was confused. Did she leave? Did she go home? I don't know what the fuck happened there.
No, she took his shift, so since he had to start work right now, she just went right back to work. So,
no,
so I guess that 14-hour shift will become like, I don't know, never-ending 22-hour shift. Regarding that exchange or whatever, I just want to bring up that the back and forth in this movie is so... It's like these filmmakers are just like, man, I love Pulp Fiction so much, I kind of want that bullshit. I just want that bullshit in my movie. Like, everybody just has to bullshit each other.
Yeah, but it's teen angsty bullshit that's not really that funny. Extra $20 for a blowjob, love! And you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm just like, it's not like really cringe, but it doesn't have any charm. I'm just like, it's such like a placeholder in most places. Just like it's there because people need to talk. It'd be really weird if they just stood in a room doing nothing.
Yeah. Filler.
It's almost like most of the dialogue in this movie was just like first draft. It's like, that's fine.
Can't talk, gotta poop.
But yeah, so we find out that Ron's been working these long-ass hours. She's about to get evicted from her apartment, so she needs money, so she's going to take that extra shift.
Did anyone else notice that her manager looked like a not bald one?
There's a lot of lookalikes in this movie. Like herself, she looks like Uma Thurman. That's why I'm almost like this is like a post-Tarantino, late 90s movie.
Yeah, and then you got Katie Holmes, and that bitch looked like fucking chick from... that 70s show, Mila Kunis.
Oh yeah. Damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather.
Yeah, you got two guys coming through the line with a buttload of orange juice.
Way too much orange juice for two people. There might be a third guy somewhere. We just don't know yet.
Yeah, so they go in looking for Simon, because Simon's evidently their little party drug dealer. Simon's not there, but they're like, maybe this random chick that's checking us out in the checkout line, maybe she has drugs. I don't know.
And that random chick is like, holy shit, it's Jay Moore and Elon Musk.
Yes, I have that written down. I was like, what is up with fake Elon Musk? Like, this movie to me, like, even when things are going on, I had such a hard time being interested. I was following the plot, I was seeing what the actors were doing, and it's, I finished the thing and I didn't hate it. But man, it was a rough watching me until, after these two guys, they go outside and, they find out, their drug dealer's not there. Chick makes a hasty little idea to go get drugs from the drug dealer's drug dealer direct to the source. and that character is played by Timothy Oliphant.
And I think he's great in this movie. Like, even though his character is super just like, I don't know,
scummy, dirty looking.
Yeah, just like 90s bad guy kind of thing. Almost like he'd be in like a really good Die Hard villain in like number 4 or something.
Yeah, but he's doing that little Santa hat.
Yeah, he has like this weird 90s charm. I'm just like, you go,
he's
Tim
a little bit charming. Like, he's scummy for sure, but he's got a little bit of charm to him.
Yeah.
Timothy Santafant.
But,
don't worry, got a bunch of those.
But yeah, so Rana decides to, drive over to his apartment, maybe try and score some ecstasy. Needs 20 pills. When we walk in there, we are treated to Angel by Massive Attack, which is a banger.
That song will not be appearing in the background due to copyright issues.
But be assured, it fucking slaps.
Hard. She needs to get 20 pills for Jay Moore and not Elon Musk. And Timothy Santafant, or Timothy Dealerfant, gets very upset because 20 is the magic number from, possession to intent to sell, and that's prison time. He's like, let me turn up the music and make you take your top off.
At that point, you're not really sure if he's looking at boobs or just looking for a wire, maybe both. Probably both.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, looking for a wire, because just watching it, this is the first time I've ever seen this movie. As far as I'm concerned, he turned the music up so loud that it blurted out all the audio in the actual movie. He just made her just act like a carousel and spin around for her.
Yeah.
She's like, okay.
Originally, whenever he had her do this, he had just kissed this other girl and sent her away. I thought maybe he turned up the music and was like, all right, bitch, you're going to do some dirty shit. And she was like, I guess I am.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, okay.
Ass.
We'll get to that. But yeah, full disclosure, this was my choice. This movie was my choice, and this was a movie that I liked and watched a lot during my formative years, my upper teenage years, I'll say. So, neither one of you have seen it before this?
Nope.
I simply hadn't seen it. No, not at all. Actually, I hadn't even heard of it. When you said it was a Christmas movie, I was just like,
No. It takes place during Christmas time. That was the whole point.
Same difference, but then I started seeing it in all these lists of movies that were, taking place during Christmas, so it could technically be Christmas movies, and this movie's a bigger deal than I thought it was. Like, it has this following.
It is a little bit of a cult classic, and there are a lot of, known people, a lot of known actors in here. Maybe not A-listers, but man, there's a ton of B-listers.
Got Melissa McCarthy in there.
Unfortunately, you do. Oh, yeah, she's bad. She's whatever in this, but yeah, we can move on.
No, we're staying on it, because I was talking to you a little bit earlier, saying that after seeing this little bit of her in this movie, I just realized she's been doing the same shtick for 25 years.
Yes. I mean, you do it long enough, it's gonna click sooner or later. I mean, even a stop clock's right twice a day.
In all fairness, Spy was really funny.
I don't know anything about that.
I like Bridesmaids. I laughed a lot.
I didn't. That movie was super hyped up. I watched it and I was like, man, there is one of these people that I think is at all funny.
She took a shit in the street, bro. It was legit.
Wait a minute. There was some shit in Spy, too. What the fuck? Man, I'm just it's a shit shtick. That's all she's...
Sometimes you need that lady shitting in the road to make things work.
Maybe she just has IBS, and that's how she just works it into her scenes. Should we move on? All right, so Timothy Oliphant's character, Todd, if you needed the name Todd, the drug dealer, says, you know what? I'm going to need some collateral if you're going to go.
Yeah, they gotta get some collateral since you don't have all the money to pay for the drugs.
Yeah,
I like how the collateral is just a whole ass person.
Yeah, she's like, here, have fake Mila Kunis, Katie Holmes.
Okay. Katie Holmes was a thing long before Mila Kunis was.
Then she was absolutely destroyed by Scientology. Oh. Tom Cruise.
I blame Tom Cruise for that more than I do Scientology. Scientology got to Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise got to... It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
leave Katie alone.
I mean, that man can run. Just let him go.
Hi, I'm Tiny Tom Cruise.
I've heard that he can also play some beach volleyball.
As long as you're allowed to look at your watch while flexing. But yeah, she's got to get left behind as collateral because he's already got a swatch. Anna, fake Uma Thurman, needs to go flip these drugs to get that money.
So we got to the point where she got the drugs and she's going to the drug bust thing, the entrapment, the Sean Connery movie.
Yeah, so she's got the pills. She's got to come back for Katie Holmes. Claire, her name's Claire. Got to come back for Katie Holmes, so she's got to be back by 8 o'clock. She's gonna go to this house where these two guys are selling the pills for slightly more money than what she paid for them, and gotta get back to her friend, right?
Correct. She shows up at Elon Musk and G. Moore's house, but other friend Tony Hawk is there.
I don't think we actually know who that house belongs to. I don't think it's any of them.
It's just one of those places where cops just have on their files or whatever.
Spoiler alert, one of them is a cop.
And it's that dude who played the one dude from Drive Angry. Yeah, that guy.
He looks like if you took Clint Eastwood's skin and you hung it up on someone much taller's body.
Someone like Tony Hawk?
I don't know how tall Tony Hawk is.
He's a bird man.
All right. So, yep, that's a Birdman with Clint Eastwood skin. That's it.
There we go. Or you could just Google William Fichtner.
Yeah. Oh, please, God, don't go to images. Oh, no.
He's in Black Hawk Down. He does a good job in there.
But she goes there, and the vibe is weird. The vibe's weird. You can tell the vibe's weird just immediately.
Yeah,
they're all just like...
Elon Musk and Jay Moore just kind of just like, yeah, hi, how's it going? And then William, whatever his name is, he's just super duper, really oddly charismatic about everything.
And right to the point, too. You got the drugs?
Yeah.
He's very like dad looking. Like, hey, dad, I'm a dad. Do you have any dope?
He's got on his white Nike so he can cut grass later.
You got them drugs, the 20s for 20s. 20, can you say it into my chest, please, that you have 20s for 20?
The little box protruding from his belly.
But it is seriously like one of the most awkward scenes. She immediately texts, hey, this is bad. But we did forget to mention, though, that her friend in the car took 2 hits of X.
Yeah,
now,
so she's only walking in there with 18. It's not that crunchy herbal rave bullshit.
So basically, he just almost killed himself immediately. So that's always nice. He'll come back later, though.
Or does he?
She's doing all this for her rent money. She's out there turning tricks, selling drugs, being a fucking diehard.
But she did not turn any tricks. She turned down the $20 blowjob.
Well, she had to show dude like her chest and buttock.
So I guess one trick. She's a one-trick pony.
So she smells the setup, and she's like, fuck this, I need to pee. And dude's like, what are you doing there? And she's like, freaking out, and starts flushing the fucking pills down the toilet. He finally gets the door open as she's walking out, and she's like, it's all yours. Now this, to me, was a really cool scene. She wants out. And the only way to do so is to pretty much, without being like, hey, you're a cop, she goes, maybe I should hit the road, seeing as how I'm so underaged and drinking and all. And she keeps staring at him dead in the eyes and turning up the beer, which he gave her. She's like, underage drinking. And he's like, yes, that means move away from the door, talking to Elon Musk. And then she boogies
out. One quick thing I'm going to throw in there, and you get a little spot of this every once in a while. As she's going to the bathroom to flush the pills, I think it's the guy that you keep referring to as Elon Musk.
No, it's Jay Moore. Yeah, he's
right.
like, yeah, she brushes by him pretty closely and whispers something in her ear. We don't find out what it is till later, but he whispers, "Go." Get it?
That's
the name of the movie.
The movie. That's the name of the movie, folks. The more you know.
It pops up occasionally, every now and again, and it pops up so infrequently. When it does, I'm always just like, ha.
No, that's it. That's why they called it that.
So now she gets back to the car and her buddy's like sweating so fucking hard.
Yeah, this guy's burning up. Looks like he could fry an egg on him.
I know, he's like Whitney Houston hanging out with Bobby Brown.
He probably shouldn't be driving.
I like how he's clearly just inept to do anything at the moment, but she's like, come on, let's go. And they try to pull off, and he's like, burp, 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 burp.
Yep, he's just a place filler character, really. I don't even know if he's got more than about 5 lines, but he's in kind of quite of a bit of the movie.
Yeah, he's got a really cool scene coming up, too.
Yeah, he's got a couple of them. Like, the stuff starts to work on him, and he's just scanning himself.
So
yeah, they go back to the supermarket, and I guess Rana's got this idea that she's going to find a pill that looks similar enough to the ecstasy that she just dumped to replace it and give it back to Todd.
And she steals a bunch of stuff, just like it's seemingly nonsensical stuff. But then she goes back into the car and she's like, "Hey, what'd that pill look like?" And meanwhile, he's in fucking space right now.
He's like having this amazing fucking trip to Hey Macarena, and he's doing the fucking tango with one of the cashiers, and he's like eating a banana all crazy.
It's a real fun scene up here.
Yeah, I chuckled at this scene.
It was just so wild and juxtaposed with the rest of the movie. Like, these little bits where he was tripping balls were really fun to watch.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of the scene of the beach whenever DiCaprio's tripping and starts running around like collecting coins.
Oh, yeah, the video game thing?
Yeah.
I also agree.
Yeah. But now that she has all these little pills and whatnot, she's got to get her butt back to old Timothy Drugafant and be like, oh man, it was a miscommunication. I need my money back. Blah, 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 blah. I need a drug return policy.
Yeah, I have the receipt. Don't worry about it.
And then, meanwhile, old druggy boy is tripping ass, and he's like staring at a cat on a hat.
Oh man, that's my favorite part of the movie. Timothy Oliphant has this like little fluffy cat running around or whatever, and this guy's tripping so hard they have like this staring contest, and eventually the cat's just like, I can read your mind, and the guy's just like,
yeah, just blown the fuck away. Now she gets her money back. She's almost been busted. She's had these weird run-ins where she almost didn't get her friend back, and it almost had like a rapey vibe to it with old Timothy Rapafant.
Yeah.
And then you would think, oh man, that's it. We're gonna call it a night. This fucking night has been awful. It's terrible. Nope. They're not calling it a night. They're gonna go to the fucking rave and sell fake X.
By the way, I think we neglected to talk about this rave thing, which is kind of like the central point around everything that's revolving between these 3 stories. There's a rave going down, like a warehouse rave, and it's the reason these guys, I guess, are trying to get some ecstasy. In theory, yeah, there's a rave.
There is a rave, but you gotta ask yourself, is it a wave or Zoom?
I don't know.
Well, that's what the dude asks whenever they're taking the fake baby aspirin. And she's like, you should take a lot of pot with that. Yep,
like
take
a lot of
pot with it.
Take a lot of pot. She's a cop.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, she eventually meanders back to the rave. It's kind of already ongoing, and she's got to schlep these pills around so she can make her fucking rent. That's this whole movie, by the way. And she finds this van full of just nerds, really. They're just smoking weed, hotboxing the joint, and she hops in and just starts selling them for just like ridiculous amounts of money.
And they all get like a placebo bullshit effect, and she's like, yeah, it's great. Keep smoking a lot of weed on top of it, though.
Actually, my favorite part of that bit was that the lady in the front seat is like, wow, does it really work? And he's just like, yeah, man, I'm going to buy another one. And doesn't even look what he pulls out of his wallet, just hands her a wad of cash.
That fucking Velcro wallet of his. Man, the 90s.
Dude, it said bad motherfucker on it, so.
So we go back to Todd, and Todd starts, open up the bottle, trying to put it back into his inventory, and he realizes these aren't the same pills, and he gets pissed.
Timothy Angry Fan.
All right. So he knows that they're going to this rave, so he's going to track her down.
Yep, he gets there, and he's trying to get in, and he hears somebody like talking about how someone's in there selling the good, and he's like, that bitch. And I thought it was really neat that inside she's selling drugs, and she's making the people trying to buy the drugs from her do what he did to her. So the people are like, hey, I heard you got stuff, and she's like, show me your tits. and she makes him lift the shirt to check for a wire to make it seem like she's more legit than she is. I thought that was a nice touch.
It was super funny, but it was also kind of awkward because they just held on it for a little too long. I'm just like, okay, all right, scene's over. All right, she's inside. Got it. All right.
Yep, but how else would you see those healthy man titties?
Have I mentioned Googled images yet?
Oh shit, I forgot that existed.
Man boobs. But anyways, Timothy Angryafant catches on, and he's in there, and he's like, oh, there they are, and he starts tracking them down. Now, fucking fake Uma Thurman's buddy, he's tripping so hard that she has to stash him in the trash.
Yeah, Manny is fucked.
But the thing is, he did something super righteous. Like, even though he was just tripping all kinds of shit, he figured out a way to meander through this crowd and find her and warn her. Like, above and beyond.
Yeah. So she stashes him behind some trash cans, and he became Ecstasy the Grouch. Like Chandler was like,
yeah, so Rana runs out, completely independent of fucking Katie Holmes. Who knows where she is? She's still back at the rave. Rana runs out like she's gonna leave, and Todd's there with a gun. And then at that point, Rana gets hit by a Mazda Miata. And she falls into a fucking ravine.
She doesn't fall into shit. She gets dumped to a ravine, heartbreaking.
Into a ravine.
It's like being decked by Big Bird and thrown into a shit ditch.
Yeah, and then at that point, Todd's like, "Oh fuck, I should go because this is pretty much over now."
Yeah, I think he was justified in leaving the scene.
Yeah, sure. What are you gonna do? Shoot a dead girl in the head?
I mean, in the instance he did, perhaps he would have been justified for doing so.
I mean, at that point, he counted to 3 and it was all over. So
said his piece and walked away.
It was the perfect thing because he goes from just like, evil bad guy to just like, oh shit.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna cut my losses. I'm a head out. That's the end of the first section of this movie.
The trunk.
Yeah. So round 2 opens up with Simon, right? So we all know he's going to Vegas and all that shit. But
yeah, we actually go all the way back to the beginning, and we see the same scene again.
Kind of like a Back to the Future Part 2 thing, where you're like, same scene but different angle. But then it hard cuts to him being stuck in a trunk, and we're just like, uh-oh, what happened to this British man?
And it's pretty much just a little road trip to Vegas. You've got Simon, the British fellow. You got Taye Diggs is in this. Noah Wiley's in this. And you've got a Fatboy Slim song going on in the background.
Now, so Noah Wiley's the rapping dude from Clueless.
What?
That's a reference.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. But you do have Frank the bunny from Donnie Darko.
Nah. They also went to a buffet.
And thank God.
Yeah, because after a while, I kind of got tired of them just talking.
Yeah, you get a little
scene in the car.
Tantric sex or something like that, and a contact lens. I don't know.
The first half of the movie with, the story of Rana and Timothy Oliphant's character, it kind of grew on me. I was kind of enjoying where it was going. And then the second part happened. I didn't know any of the characters. I didn't care. And by the time the second section ended, I was still like, fuck all of these people.
Yeah, the second section, honestly, easily my least favorite. Pretty much you've got a trip to Vegas. You get the normal stuff. Todd has given Simon his credit card for whatever reason, so we can get a discount at this hotel or whatever.
Well, even though Todd's kind of a slimy douchebag, he still has a heart of gold and hair of steel. So these Vegas boys are just kind of like rooting around a little bit. There's Todd gave that one dude a little bit of a hint for like some of the best spots in the town. So they hike up to this hotel room or whatever. They kind of get situated, but unfortunately, 2 of the boys ate some wacky shrimp.
It was wacky because they got food poisoning.
Fucking Vegas. What is it that the fucking God? What the hell's the name of that fucking the buffet? What? Can't think of the name of it. The one that we have, the people always get food poisoning. Golden Corral. Yeah. When you're in Vegas and you eat at the fucking Golden Corral, you're almost guaranteed to get some food poisoning.
Yo, Golden Corral, fucking sponsor us.
Dang, dude. Give us that golden sponsor.
Let me get that chocolate fountain, bruh.
You're gonna get that chocolate fountain out your butt.
Yeah. Hashtag Montezuma.
But yeah, basically just doing a lot of Las Vegas stuff aside from getting food poisoning, which I guess could also be Las Vegas stuff. Hashtag. The two, what I feel like are the main guys in this are Simon and
Tay Diggs.
Tay Diggs.
Yeah, Tay Diggs. They're the only two of the. Well, they're four guys. They're the only two that actually do Las Vegas things. The other two could have easily. Yeah, they could have easily been one person who got sick and had to like sit out. Because really, the only reason why they're there is so they have a reason to come back later on.
So they go out gambling, and Simon loses all his money, and Tay Diggs is pretty much like, all right, go away. I'll keep your wallet right here, but go away. So he gets into his own stuff. He finds this wedding chapel, gets some free cake and champagne, meets some bridesmaids, decides he's going to have an Irish accent instead of an English one. You know, the normal stuff.
You know, anything to hit it off, really. He's just there to score.
Yeah, then they go smoke drugs with tissues in their nose.
Smoke drugs.
Yep, this is the only reference to drugs in the entire movie. He's going to take these lovely bridesmaids up with his fake Irish accent and gonna smoke some drugs with them. It's just, it's marijuana.
What a gentleman.
So one chick has to stuff tissues up her nose to keep herself from coughing, and while she's lighting her joint, her nose tissue catches on fire, and then she has to put it out, and she's like, oh my god, I have such a bad day, and she's like, tell her she's okay, and he's like, I'm gonna kiss her. And then tantric sex threesome.
It almost reminds me of that little bit from Team America. He's like, if you tell me you love me, I'll sleep with you right now. And he just grabbed her by the shoulders, looked her right in the eyes, like, or no, I will never die, or whatever.
It reminds me of that scene from Orange County when Jack Black sneaks into the dean's secretary's office, and somehow they have sex and catches the place on fire. That's what it reminds me of. Anybody? Fuck.
Reminds me of the Titanic, because it hit a fucking iceberg in this part and was sinking hard.
See, I think this is where this section actually picks back up. It was sunk up to this point. Now I'm back in it.
Titties couldn't save it. Not even when the room caught on fire, titties couldn't save it.
And they realized that the room was on fire like way too late.
Oh, I think the guy like realized it, but he was just like, whatever, tantric sex.
Doesn't matter. I'm in that butt.
There we go.
Hashtag that butt.
So the room catches on fire, and he has to go streaking out.
By the way, no other part of this this hotel is being evacuated. Nobody else knows. There's no smoke alarms, fire alarms, sprinkler system, nothing going on. What kind of codes do they have in Las Vegas?
Not to mention that room, the whole room is fucking on fire. It's not like a trash can fire. It's the entire goddamn room.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting a Native American to come busting in, wrap him in a fucking blanket, start rolling him back and forth, and then like a G.I. Joe PSA to come up and be like, you shouldn't play with fire. The more you know, and just now you know, and knowing half the battle. G.I. Joe! And then...
See, at this point, I think that guy was so caught up in his tantric whatnots, he actually died and burned in that room. The rest of the movie is just his brain filling in the blanks just before he passes away.
Oh, kind of like Stay.
Yeah, but I have a feeling this movie wasn't meant to be that interesting, though.
No, sir.
But during this, we get another really good song appearance. We've got... I don't remember the name of the song, honestly, but it's by Air, and I fucking love Air.
Me too. I need it to live. You digging this air, man? This movie, like the whole thing, feels like a copy of better films. Just like if you had a Hershey Kiss and then you got a Palmer's version of a Hershey Kiss. That's what this movie is.
Oh god. I mentioned this with Chandler earlier. Is that like I feel the Tarantino influence. I feel like a little bit of Train Spotting. I feel a little bit of like a road trip movie. It's just, it kind of works. It's inoffensive.
In the word Mighty Boosh, elements of the past and elements of the future coming together to make something not quite as good as either.
Oh god, is this like the Nickelback of movies?
Oh,
Eels.
But yeah, so
they got a valet guy, and he's like, park it in the whatever, and then they're like, get in the car, we're gonna take this little red car and go to a titty bar with it. And they find a gun And the scene of them trying to handle this goddamn gun.
It made me anxious.
Yes. I was just pissed watching him do this. I was like, and the fucking Tay Diggs is just like, hey man, it's cool, whatever. And the dude is constantly pointing this loaded firearm.
He's English. They don't have those over there.
No.
Have a gun, but you know what it is. This thing will fucking kill you. And he's just like, finger on the trigger, shaking it upside down at Tay Diggs' face.
Well, eventually he gets tired of it and just like took it away from him like a little baby.
Truth.
That doesn't dissuade them from, continuing on the fun activities. They end up taking this Ferrari to the Crazy Horse Strip Club, which is actually where Todd recommended to them. So they're going to the strip club, Lenny Kravitz is blasting in there like you do.
Yeah, but for some reason, I don't understand how that's the place that he picked. I mean, where did they stay at? Somewhere like super famous, wasn't it? They're like the Royals or whatever?
It was one of the hotels on the strip, which I know by name, but don't remember which one was right now.
Yeah, something really nice. How come it's just this fucking rinky-dink strip bar in the middle of fucking nowhere?
Because it's the rinky-dink strip clubs, not the fancy ones, the rinky-dink ones that give you HJs.
Dude had a sucker in his mouth in a titty bar.
Sexual tension.
That's to get the taste out of his mouth. He doesn't just give HJs.
I can't stand Simon. I fucking cannot stand him. Every second that he's on the screen, I just wanted to like take that gun from him and put it into my own mouth and end it. He kind
of acts like he's never seen titties before.
Maybe he never had.
Has he seen? I mean, I know that he's probably never seen a gun before, but maybe he's never seen titties before. Did they have Google back then? Google image search.
I've never had a lap dance in a titty bar. I definitely don't want to have one back to back with potentially a total stranger.
Yeah, that was a weird looking room. Maybe is it just like a room set up just for buddies, just to get hard-ons with each other?
Now, did you guys catch on that Tay Diggs is getting danced on, Simon's getting danced on, and he's like, no, stripper, go over there and dance on Simon too. I'm gonna watch. Tay Diggs likes to watch, man.
It's tantric.
Well, at the beginning, they were like, Tay Diggs, who was like, no champagne. You don't want champagne. Champagne means lap dance. Lap dances are expensive. You don't want champagne. And then as soon as he comes in, it's like, let me have some champagne.
Yeah, what the fuck were they there for then? Like, I thought, okay, so it kind of felt like they were there for business, maybe? So don't say champagne because we don't want to be taken to the back. We have shit to do, right? So, what?
I just think they were in there to see some titties, but to be cheap about it. They are frugal gentlemen.
At this point, once the bouncer starts beating him down for completely being a moron and grabbing the lady's ass, after the bouncer was like, don't grab her ass.
I like how the guy busted in and immediately thought it was Tay Diggs.
Yeah, he's like going right for the black dude. He's like, it was him. And he's like, oh, okay. And just fucking rip his ass.
These goddamn rappers have one hit song and they think they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Or whatever they say.
I have written down what the fuck is going on in this movie.
It's just like stuff has to happen. Like, okay, so there's like this weird thing with movies like this, these darker black comedies where everything has to go wrong for this movie to keep going. But movies like this kind of annoy me because most of that shit is just like really stupid decisions and like everybody's just like an idiot. Yeah, everybody's just like an idiot, so like I don't really care what happens to these people at all, and by the time it's over, I'm just like, alright.
So, something else that, I thought was really weird is this whole second section, none of it matters. Except for, to get the bad guys back to Timothy Oliphant's house later. Hey, spoiler. But that scene could have even been left out, and it wouldn't have fucking mattered.
That entire scene was just to offset the timing between Katie Holmes and Timothy Oliphant to be in the apartment and him coming in at the same time. That's it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. Even if they would have just left that out, it wouldn't have mattered. Because it doesn't affect the story in any way, shape, or form.
Well, it does, but I just realized that entire second part of the movie was just to explain why these crazy gangsters are in that dude's apartment. Say we didn't see that at all, and Timothy Oliphant and what's her name were just like making out on the stairs, and this dude's like, "Hey, you him or whatever," and they like pseudo kidnap him and go to the apartment, and Simon comes busting in, and just like, "Oh shit." Like, that's his business, not theirs. So we're instead of being just like, what? We decided to spend 40 minutes with them in Vegas.
As if you just knock out the 40 minutes and don't have the gangsters in the movie's better for it.
I think the movie would just be like 50 minutes.
So that's what it is. It's just a fluff piece of nonsense.
It's just like a wild tangent.
Pretty much this section exists to get Todd's credit card in the hands of these angry gangster guys in Las Vegas who are really angry at this guy that shot his son.
And I love that Bouncer's father. He is so matter of fact and just like such a ball breaker.
Yeah, he's got some good lines. You're fucking incompetent. How do you get to the top? You don't get to the top by being the best. You get to the top by waiting for these people to fall on their asses, and then you're so fucking incompetent that they got no choice but to accept you. Just
that social commentary. That's why I loved it. It was just like, god damn.
Yeah.
Not only are you a piece of shit, but everybody in your like generation and output also pieces of shit. Fuck you and your fellas.
That's Boomers versus Gen X right there.
So they use the credit card to track them back to their fucking room because they're idiots, and they leave their credit card.
They leave Todd's credit card.
But then, they knock on the door, they're like, room service, and the dude's got a fucking wrench. And he starts just dismantling the door to get inside.
And the whole time they're trying to get to the adjoining room, and this kid just sitting there watching porno. This like 8-year-old kid just hanging out, whom they pissed off earlier. And just like, hey, open the door. And the kid just like, hey, you got $100? And just like, dude, go fuck yourself. And he's like, all right, I'll just let you get killed.
They end up getting through the door. They pay off this kid, get through the door. They get out of there just in time, and then they run down, get in the car, and scoot out of there. Then we have a car chase.
The bad guy with the wrench throws the wrench, not anywhere near the car. He just throws the wrench.
He's just an angry fella.
Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except
that wrench is staying in Vegas.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we get like this big, crazy, over-the-top car chase scene where somehow they wedge their car sideways in an alley, Austin Powers style.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. The Austin Powers something before Austin Powers.
Which Austin Powers movie was that?
The first one.
Well,
yeah, no, Austin Powers was before this.
Well, they came out in 98 or 99.
I was thinking Austin Powers was more like 96.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know Goldmember was like 2003.
Goldmember for sure is 2002. The first Austin Powers was 97. Ooh. So that was like 2 years before this.
So they also stole from Austin Powers.
A little bit of something for everybody in there.
We can cut all of that. Absolutely all of that.
That's good stuff.
But yeah, they escape, thankfully. And they make it out of there, and the only thing that one of their buddies, who's now got like an eye hanging out of his head and whatnot, can think about is the fact that Simon got to sleep with 2 women.
I don't think that's all he can think about. I think that's just like the most unbelievable part of his story.
It's just so weird. It's just so weird. Like all this stuff happens. It's actually kind of crazy, but it's just like whatever at the same time.
And through all of this, Taye Diggs and Simon, they have lived this story. The other 2 guys don't know what's going on. They just know they need to run from these guys. So they finally get to tell the story. That's when the surprise over the, you slept with 2 girls? That's where that comes from.
Well, it's just another story for him to steal. I mean, there's no fucking fascination in his diarrhea story.
That's fair. All right, and that's the end of the second segment. We've got, the gangster guys still trying to come after him, but they are on their way back to, I'm assuming, Los Angeles is where they're all from.
Correct.
But before we get to this third one, guys, after all that talk about champagne, I need a beer.
Good man. What you drinking on?
Today, I was feeling a little bit festive. Got some of Great Lakes Brewing Company's Christmas Ale, which, if you haven't had it, it's fucking phenomenal. It's one of those beers that, once it comes out, every year I grab a 6-pack of. This is actually my 2nd or 3rd 6-pack of this so far this season. It's
like
great.
Gingerbread Man House?
It is a little bit spicy. It's a nice, like, medium gold copper color, so it's not quite a blonde ale, not quite an amber ale. Nice medium bodied, but there's just a little bit of that warmth, a little bit of that spice there. Not over the top, it's not so much that you think, oh, this is just a cinnamon beer. This isn't Fireball or anything like that. It's not syrupy. It's just got a hint of like cinnamon and honey and ginger, nutmeg, things like that.
Sugar, spice, everything nice.
But man, it's fucking good. 7.5% alcohol by volume. It's just a good, really good, solid seasonal beer.
And Chemical X. That's what the Powerpuff Girls were made of.
Shoo, shoo, shoo.
All right, well, let's go back to the grocery store.
Again.
We're going to see this scene a third time.
From a third angle.
Yeah, but this time we get to see the TV. And on the TV, it's those two dudes who were trying to buy drugs. They're actors.
By the way, their names are Adam and Zach. We figured that out now.
Yes, so Jay and Elon are right back at the store.
Musking it up.
Turns out this whole time they're a plant from the cops.
They're working for the fuzz.
I feel like we kind of got that insinuation earlier in the first segment, but now we know it. We know they're working with the cops. I guess they had some kind of a deal where they got caught and they were like, okay, help us get your dealer and we can get you off.
And boy, do they get off.
Well, I thought they were going to get off later. Shit was fucking weird.
A little bit.
Man, that was fucked up.
Yeah, the next thing down in my notes is the cop is definitely giving off some vibes.
Yeah. Gay cop vibes, double question marks, faithful, double question marks.
I don't know, maybe he's just lonely for friends or something. I don't know.
I mean...
I guess we find out what it is a little bit later, and it's not what you think.
Yeah, we even get a fucking Alanis Morissette fucking reference. Did you guys catch that?
Didn't. Absolutely didn't.
He's like, says something. He's like, isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Oh. Huh. But, yeah, we have a little conversation about how, one of the guy's girlfriend's been cheating on him. Oh, you know, whatever.
So now he's got a double cheat on that bitch. That's how it works.
Yep. I wasn't cheating till I caught them a cheating.
I found a sock. Anything's game.
Exactly. One sock proves it all.
Bitch!
I wonder how many times he's nutted in that sock.
Well, with that elastic tip, probably a lot.
Is it the tip? Is it a reservoir tip?
Ooh.
Ooh, macaroni and cheese.
Reservoir tip? Like stuck in the middle with you?
Dun, 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 dun. I got a crusty sock with you.
We sort of fast forward through the next section a little bit because we've already seen what's going on. You know, they go to the grocery store, they try and score some drugs off of Rana, and we figure out what's going on. Maybe they'll try and get Todd. Cutting deals and shit. We see they go back to that house, the plant house, I guess it is, and Zach whispers to Rana, "Go." Clever. Fucking clever, isn't it?
G.I. Go.
G.I. Go.
And then at kind of this point going forward, we have new information. This is all a new section here.
Yeah, we fast forward through this a little bit, stuff we've already seen. Then we kind of settle back at the cop's house, that William dude, and they're having like a little dinner, little get together. Just like the guy himself, he's also, this whole situation is kind of like this weird vibe.
So before we get to that point, they're kind of messing around with the actor guys. The cop's like, you know, showing him how to handcuff him and feeling up on his abs or whatnot. Definitely still giving those vibes. And then he's like, I got a proposition for you.
Like rapey vibes.
A little bit. He's like, I got a proposition for you. How about you come to my house and for Christmas dinner, and then I'll sign the papers, you know, because we're having Christmas dinner a couple of days early because you know, we both work on Christmas. We're having Christmas dinner tonight. Come over to my house, fellas.
I 100% expected there to be no wife.
I thought I was going to turn into that one little gimp bit from Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, bring out the wife. Oh no.
See, when we get there, like at that point, I'm expecting, these guys are swingers.
Yeah, I got that written down also because she makes out with the fucking dude. She's like, all that fake kissing and whatnot. Was that mashed potatoes or batter?
That I couldn't tell you. I'm gonna go mashed potatoes because that's sexy.
Yeah, it looked thick, kind of like her when she was all bent over.
Oh yeah, this character is played by Jane Krakowski, by the way, of 40 Rock, 30 Rock, 40 Rock.
35.
What's the name of that show? 35 Rock. Split the difference. Jane Krakowski, and man, honestly, she's kind of fine.
Yeah,
Anybody? Is it just me?
Those pants were up her butt crack. I was like, all right. Jay Moore is in the bathroom, by the way, and when he steps out while his friend is getting like this attractive woman making out with him, he steps out to naked Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it was super weird. It was just goddamn.
Like they both treat it like, you know.
Yeah, just like oops, a daisy. Didn't mean to do that. I know it's your house and everything. I guess I'm the asshole.
Smell this cologne. He's like, nah, I'm good. And then he's all like, it puts the cologne on its skin, or else it gets raped again. God.
By the way, little piece of information we find out during this whole awkwardness. They are a couple. They are a gay couple, and they each have cheated on each other. That's what we were referring to earlier in the car.
And then Tony Hawk's got him like trying to fill up the bed, and things start to make sense.
100% goose down.
Things start to make sense. He's always like in every scene, or at least it started like to come together. Every scene that you see this character, he's always talking about something, a product, something.
It didn't make sense to me yet. I just thought, man, this guy's weird. He loves catching those deals at the fucking JCPenney or something.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, it's weird. But he's always talking about a product. Why is this guy always talking about a product? And then it comes out that he's not trying to swing with them. He's not trying to rape them. He's trying to get them into his pyramid scheme.
Yeah, he's what is it? Confederated Products, fucking multi-level marketing scheme. That's all he wants.
I mean, the guy was making $50K a year on it, so might not be too bad.
Down $50K a year, but he can't recruit from inside the precinct. So they know a lot of people. And they both know
get some of your fucking actor buddies.
Maybe it'll turn out to be like, maybe they weren't swingers at all. Maybe he just lost all his money in this pyramid scheme and he straight up had to just like fuck a dude just to get his attention.
Yeah, but he's trying to get him to like sign up and do all this shit, and they both have kind of an epiphany that they cheated on each other with the same person.
With the same damn guy. Fucking Jimmy in makeup.
Jimmy in makeup. So they go over to Jimmy's house where we meet Melissa McCarty doing her same old shtick. And guess where Jimmy is?
At that rave. It's the fucking party of the century, I guess, or at least the party of the end of that specific year.
They go in and fucking assault Jimmy. They cut off Jimmy's hair because he was slick enough to fuck them both.
He's a stylist. He can make it work.
He'll probably be fabulous afterwards.
Jimmy works in makeup. He is not a hairstylist.
Look,
those guys are gay. Damn, I can't get a laugh tonight.
So it turns out, as they're leaving the party and they're celebrating, and they're driving their little yellow Mazda,
and he's yelling, "Go, go, go!"
Yeah, they're the ones who hit old girl.
Because who else is going to be driving a Mazda Miata? Come on.
It's all coming together.
Where she slaps on the fucking hood, a chunk of her scalp gets stuck in the windshield wiper, they gun it, pump the brakes, launch her over a hill, and the whole time they're ladies screaming. And then they go to a fucking gas station and come to the logical conclusion that even if she's alive, she's dead.
Yeah, because the only witnesses are, you, me, and Todd, and none of us are talking. If she's not dead, then Todd's going to kill her, so, whatever.
Yeah. So, what do? You go take a pee break and realize that, you're still recording.
Yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't have felt that, like, hours before.
Well, I mean, I don't know how they didn't realize that cop was going to rape him hours before.
Dude, I would have been like, look, man, this shit feels weird. You're making me uncomfortable. I need to talk to your chief.
Yeah. Whoa, chief.
Stranger danger.
Well, remember, they still kind of needed him to sign those papers so they can get out of whatever they were doing.
Yeah, but whatever they were doing couldn't have been that bad, man. Like, fuck, give me 2 weeks in jail. I don't want to get raped.
Isn't that what happens in jail, though? They're fucked either way.
Federal pound me in the ass prison.
Federal pound town.
But they decide that they're going to go get her body, and it just so happens that, guess what? Now it's fucking pouring the rain.
I mean, for a second I thought, like, well, at least they'll kind of help her not get hypothermia or whatever, but then they just, like, toss her on the hood of that car.
Yeah, and the whole time they're picking her up, the one dude's up there just crying, and Jay Moore's like, "Oh, chill out, Elon Musk. It's just a scene. Say hi to Molly in wardrobe. Let's get a veggie burger after the scene." And he's all like, "I'm not delusional, Zach." And then this fucking made me lose my shit. "I'm not delusional, Zach." And Jay Moore looks at him and goes, "Good. Then grab her fucking arms."
Yeah.
Welcome to reality.
Yeah. Like he was trying to be soft with him because he thought he was breaking down, but since you're not breaking down, then fucking help.
Yeah.
But guess what? She's not dead. So he's gonna beat her to death with the club, the anti-theft device of the 90s.
I forgot that device existed. There used to be commercials all over the fucking place for that. I don't know anyone who owned those, but yeah, that fucking existed.
The club. You had to say it like that because that's how it said it.
If any of you younger people don't know what the club is, just fucking Google it or something.
This
It'll probably
movie
come
is
up.
a time capsule
It's
for the fucking
an automobile theft deterrence device.
It's still going.
the club. You had to say by Menon. Was it by Menon?
No, it wasn't by Benin. They make fucking deodorant.
I don't know. But they take the body, throw a random fucking car, and they're like, "We did the right thing," and they're so happy about it.
Which is kind of weird because there's like a bunch of people that showed up. Like the dudes are in that car getting hotboxed, and they find the body, and they didn't even escape. They're like 10 feet away. Just look at him, just like, yeah, we did a good.
We did the right thing, partner. We need money, Dutch.
Well, no, like they brought her to somewhere that we're not going to call an ambulance, but somebody will, right? One of those guys that she sold fake drugs to earlier, they will.
Yeah, and then they just walked off into the gay sunset.
It's just like the regular sunset, only in vaporwave.
Alright, that was good.
And then you get fucking Mila Kunis out there. Not Mila Kunis. Out there, Miss, what's her face? Tom Cruise's fucking delusional lady. And she's walking around in the goddamn...
I really don't like the tone that you're putting on my girl Katie Holmes here.
Alright, she's not delusional.
So she walks through the rain and she goes to the diner where she's supposed to meet her buddies whenever they get separated. It's where they always go. And guess who's there? Timothy, fuck the family, circus, Oliphant.
By the way, this is... Alright, so we have gone all night now. Todd has, I guess, gone home, went to bed, and got up. I don't know. Who knows what he's done all night? Probably just sold some drugs. But Claire has been out all night. She is soaked. She just wants some fucking coffee and maybe some sausage.
No, she gets a sausage from
sausage.
Mr. Timothy #medium cute Oliphant.
But it's kind of weird, no? How, like, at the beginning of the movie, her character's just like, man, he's gonna rape me. And as an audience, we're like, man, she's gonna get raped. And then at the end of the movie, she's just like, hey, what's up? What you doing?
Let's go do's it, because Christmas is like fucking a stranger on some stairs. A surprise.
Is that what Christmas is? Man.
Listen to her fucking whole reference. It's just random surprises.
Yeah. Next thing you know, they're just on the stairs and she's trying to reach for his mistletoe.
Yeah, and then old Fluffy Cat comes down the stairs taking Tay Diggs rolls and just starts to watch. But then he's like, well, hey, how'd you get out, Mr. Fluffy Mittens? And he looks up and those guys are like, this your place? I'm from Vegas. Yeah.
Yep, those are the gangsters from Vegas who tracked him down to his apartment with his credit card. And they're like, who the fuck are you? You are not fucking Simon.
I'm me. I'm not you, but you're me.
Put that cookie down now.
So they go up and, Katie Holmes is sitting there and... What?
Katie Cunez?
No, like, I don't get it. They are both attractive females, but fucking Mila Kunis is probably like 20 years younger than Katie Holmes. Probably not 20, probably like 10 or 15. Like, Israeli or something.
What?
Mila Kunis? She's Israeli.
Out of nowhere. Yeah, but you were cutting out and it was like, it's Israeli or something.
Oh my god.
She's Ukrainian, not Israeli. There's a difference there. Anyway, so they go up to the apartment and, Katie Holmes is hanging out. Fucking Todd is giving actual directions to these gangsters, like, all right, here's how you get to Todd.
I mean, this whole thing where he's like sitting down drawing the map, it just becomes so wholesome. They become buddies.
Yeah, they're like, oh man, you might have to check around the back if he's not there because you'll probably get in that way.
And there's a lot of traffic on that road. You might want to take the freeway up to the 216.
I'm the map.
But at that point, luckily enough, they don't have to worry about any of that. Simon comes in and is like, oh, fuck, I'm fucked.
Yeah, and he slams him down and he puts the fucking gun to his head. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then Katie Holmes goes, then you have to kill both of us. You want to do all that? And he's like, no.
And Timothy Oliphant's just like, whoa. I don't want to die.
Guys, this is my apartment. I don't want to have to clean up that blood. Just like fucking, I don't know, shoot him in the arm or something.
And he's like, okay, we can do that. So he puts a little Sharpie X on it. He goes, there's the meaty bit. Shoot that. Puts a gun to it. Fucking this other Elon Musk looking motherfucker doesn't want to pull the trigger.
What do you mean you can't pull the trigger? You pull the fucking trigger.
Okay. Everyone's watching too. They all want to watch.
Why wouldn't you?
Tay
Dig watch that.
Yeah, Tay digs it.
Ooh.
But in the middle of all this, Tom Cruise's wife leaves, and the guy's just like, hey, even the girl left. Come on, get on with it, you putz.
You know they're not married anymore, right? You guys know that, right? They haven't been married for, like, years.
Look, that is Tom Cruise's wife. By law, Scientology says she cannot leave. Okay? When that fucking spaceship comes down with the reptilians, she'll come running. She'll come fucking running.
You think?
Yeah, I know she will because Tom Cruise is real salt-of-the-earth people.
I heard that Mila Kunis was Ukrainian.
It's somewhere in there.
Well, as she's walking away, there's like this really muffled gunshot that sounds like, I'm okay. And I guess that's kind of sold. Just wrapped up nice and tight like a Christmas gift.
You can put a little green check mark next to it, done with it. And then you got old fucking Rhonda, or whatever her name is, waking up in her hospital bed like the bride in Kill Bill.
And she just kind of leaves.
She leaves to work.
She has a hard limp, and also that wound on her head is not bandaged and still open.
Yeah, she's just oozing.
What kind of fucking hospital is that? Are they in Ukraine?
Yeah, but you know, they go back to work, the crew kind of reunites, and then they realize, oh shit, we left Officer the Grouch in the trash, and they have to go back and get him.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes of this movie just turns into The Hangover.
Yeah, they're like, oh man, we had a crazy time, didn't we, guys? What are we doing for New Year's? Fucking arm up in the air, walk off into the sunset. Don't forget about me. I'm glad we both went to the same exact spot because when this shit was going off, I was like, fuck this movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the movie wraps up and they just kind of just leave everybody somewhat unscathed, and that's just how it ends. It's almost like everything that happened in this movie didn't matter. None of this matters.
None of it. Just say Smith. It doesn't matter.
Just say Smith or something. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Okay, Manny's brain is probably not coming back to where it was. It is fried. You've got Rana with maybe a limp that's going to be there for months, years. You've got Simon, who's got a gunshot wound. He's, that arm might be shattered. We don't know.
You know, given how this whole thing had to deal with an apartment, whatever, like getting evicted, it just turns out the legend of the rent was way hardcore.
This movie, aside from Timothy, Justified, Santa Carlita Diet, Oliphant, just didn't do it for me in any way, shape, or form. It's not the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying that. This movie is just weird because movies like this are super annoying, but this one's just kind of inconsequential.
Yeah, like I couldn't get attached to the characters. I couldn't find a rhythm with it that made me want to get more into it. But like I'm saying, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. But I would watch Videodrome any fucking day over this, and just be like, you know what? It's the new Flesh. Let's do it.
I mean, see you in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the movie just felt like it was trying so fucking hard.
This is a movie that I definitely watched a lot when I was younger, but probably haven't seen in 15 years or so. So definitely I was looking back to it with nostalgia-colored lenses, but I still enjoy it. I think, especially the first segment, and parts of the third segment, they're really entertaining. The second, but like if they could just expand that first part out to be a whole 90-minute long movie,
yeah,
I'd be all about it.
Like if they could have, like, instead of showing the second bit as a whole section, like as soon as he burst through the door, they could have like a quick recap of what happened and then reverted back to the apartment. That would have been pretty slick.
Yeah, and saved us 40 minutes.
Yeah, because that middle section in Vegas really, especially up till you get to the strip club, none of that matters at all.
Nothing,
Simon's character doesn't matter at all. Not at all. They could have had anybody be like, there's going to be a rave. Or fuck, she could have been a petty drug dealer. Who fucking cares? And she could have been going through a source to be like, look, I need more. I'm out right now.
But hear me out. He's the only one in the movie that got to have sex with 2 girls.
Motherfucker, I will punt kick you.
Thank you, Rhythm Nation. That was Go from 1999. If anybody has any strong opinions about this movie, leave them in the comments below.
Yeah, definitely, like, if you remember this movie, if you've watched it recently, let me know what your feelings are, because I'm torn.
Get out there and check out our social media accounts. We have various ones, and we have a great administrator putting out new stuff all the time for you guys. We got our Timothy Alla Twitters, our Timothy Alla Facebook, and a Timothy Alla Instagram. So make sure that you're justified in checking those out.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Tap that bell icon so you know when we have another one going.
Fuck.
Oh.